I'm certain you can hear me, with or without this microphone.
I bet.
Thank you all for coming. We're going to start the evening with our chairperson of the board, Morgan Rysdon.
Hi, welcome. This is a very exciting celebration of 50 years of existence. My name is Morgan Rysdon. If you didn't know, I'm the chair of the board. And of ACAT, the Center for the Alexander. So, as many of you may or may not know, we've had a lot of changes recently, and that includes new board members coming on, and I'm very excited and glad that Joe, who's been helping with organizing this event, has joined our board recently. And last time we had an annual meeting, Judy had this wonderful idea, one of our members, and said, let's do this celebration. And her, in collaboration with a whole bunch of other people, allowed this evening to take place. So we're really excited as a board to have such a huge response to the event, and we're glad that everyone came. Just some logistical things. If you don't know, the training program is going amazing, and we love that people are sending their students our way. It's very exciting to see how many people are interested in the Alexander technique. We have a wellness program that we're doing that's amazing. We have a blog that's happening. It's a lot of change and a lot of exciting stuff for ACAT. So if you're not familiar and you have questions, please approach any of us that are wearing one of these ribbons or any of the other board members who you're familiar with, and we'll be happy to talk to you about ways that you can get involved if you're inspired this evening, or if you just want to say thank you, or if you just want to say, I have a great idea. We'd love to hear from you. So I really want to make sure that everyone knows how much Joe has done for this entire thing. He's not an Alexander technique teacher, but he's a great addition to our community, and these are the kinds of people that we love to have involved. We like to have diversity, we like to have people who are progressive and who have new ideas, and it really is helping our organization as a whole. So thank you very much for your involvement and for this evening. So I'll give it back to you. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Joe, and I am a board member. I'm the footstool to the chair. I do whatever she tells me to do. I'm also the head of the communications committee. I'm also not an Alexander teacher. I've been a student a little bit, but I'm very, very enthusiastic about the Alexander technique. And I have been asked to read this small disclaimer. The views expressed here are in no way reflect or represent the views of anyone named Alexander, FM, AR, Jane, Jason, or Brandy, or any Marjorie's, Barstow, or Barlow, or any current, future, or past boards, or anyone who's ever learned the Alexander technique in any way whatsoever, but are only the views of this person who's had less than 25 lessons and somehow made it onto the board. I do want to welcome you all this evening to this wonderful 50th anniversary of the American Center for the Alexander Technique. As you know, we are honoring two giants in the world of the Alexander Technique this evening. Ms. Barbara Kent. Before we get to that portion of tonight's show, I need to thank several people because this has been a gargantuan effort which has required the help of a great number of people. But most especially, I want to thank Betty, who's right here. Jessica Sandiscoy, another committee member. Keisha, where are you at? Keisha, thank you for your help. Of course, Judy, who, without her, this would not have happened. I want to thank, of course, Bill Connington. I want to thank Joan Arnold, wherever she Didn't I say that? Oh, Lori Schiff, let's thank her again. What's going to her? And there's a few things I want to say about the momentousness of this occasion and something about what I think it signifies. Firstly, 50 years. I also celebrated a 50-year anniversary this year, so I know a little something about this issue. And studies have concluded that the average lifespan of a small business in New York City is 8 years. And it's significantly less if you happen to be a restaurant. So you all know that because you've watched them all close, probably your favorite ones like I have. It's really something incredible that the American Center for Alexander Technique has lasted this long and is this strong at this point. Also, you know, it occurred to me in preparing for this that years ago, like when I was a child, we used to think of 50 as being old. You know, it's sort of like you just sort of coast to the end of your life. But now it's really become a time in which we reflect and we may even start a transition into a new portion of our life, to the second half of our life. And I think we on the board would really like to think of this whole event as the kickoff to a whole second 50 years and third 50 years and fourth 50 years of ACAT. It's a really wonderful organization that we are all very passionate about. And what I wanted to express to you tonight is, although we on the board maybe thought of as, say, perhaps the head and neck of ACAT. Like all cervical vertebrae, we are nothing without the rest of the spine. And that is you. You are our spine. You support us. And tonight is a really great example because you should know that we raised, along with the matching grant, almost $25,000. Now, I've heard it said in the relatively small time that I've been involved with the Alexander community that sometimes people in the greater universe of Alexander don't agree or don't all have the same point of view. But I would like to say that we ask you in this moment, if not to forget the differences or the still outstanding contentious things, to exercise something I've learned about called inhibition. And
could you spell that?
But I won't. Because that's your job. You're an educator. I'm just an out-of-work ex-actor. We really need your energy, your talent, your power to continue to move forward and to grow the American Center for the Alexander Technique. Our one and only mission, ACAT, is to forward the Alexander Technique. We really literally have nothing else that we care about beyond that. That's what we do. And there are a lot of great things that can happen, but that is really what it's about. We're not looking for our own glory. So I'm asking you to, if you maybe have fallen away from ACAT, to reinvest in us. If you've been here the whole time, to take a look back and think to yourselves, how can I renew my commitment to ACAT? And come and tell us. Tell us what you're looking for, what you love, what you don't love, what you need, so that we can really make this a community, a home that you can all come to and you can all be proud of. And you can all say, you know what, if you want to know anything about the Alexander Technique, go to ACAT. I always tell people I'm so passionate about what I've gained from this technique that if someone says to me that I see, if I'm in a grocery store and someone says, I'm having a bad hair day, I say, the Alexander Technique! That's what you need! Because I really believe it. It's really changed my life and the lives of a lot of people that I know. I have talked 5 people already into taking lessons because I believe in it that much. Anyhow, thank you all for supporting us tonight and always. Thank you for coming. Thank you for enjoying yourselves and being so wonderful. And without further ado, I give you our Master of Ceremonies, Bill Connington. Thank you.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday!
Cheers.
We have some quick logistics. We wanted to get a quick photograph of all of the former training directors. So if you could stand up, please. And we need Barbara and we need Jessica. We're going to have you go into the next room and have your photograph taken.
Yes.
And do we have people here this evening who were members of ACAT 50 years ago? Sarni, were you a member 50 years ago?
Inez?
No? Inez? 42 years ago?
Inez.
Can we have Inez,
No.
June? We're bringing you up anyway. Sarni, we're going to get your pictures. And then we're going to play for time.
Pamela, we need you. You're training director. Go Pamela. Go Pamela. She forgot. Over there. Over there.
Over there. You're having your picture taken.
She just needs a little direction. Good point. The ladies are good at it.
30 years.
And then after the photographs, we're going to have Brooke Leave talk to us for a moment about the context of ACAT, like 2 minutes of history.
And that's followed by a quiz. You have to get all the names and dates, so make sure you take notes. And the address.
Pictures in the other room. Ask if there are people who aren't here and found their classmates. Curious to know how many people have found their classmates, people they graduated with.
Okay. Judy wanted to know how many of you have found some of your classmates that you trained with. Wow.
That's terrific.
So could you stand up and say what years you graduated?
Yes.
Where did we graduate?
2000. Oh, 2000.
2000.
Stand up to 2000.
2000?
All right.
Thank you.
How about class of 87?
I have to say, almost. 1975.
94. Yes, 94.
This is up there.
97.
97.
Who's the most recent graduate?
Going for 99.
14 people
14
stand up.
stand up.
Class of 14
Class of
stand
14
up.
stand up.
13? Have we got any class of 13? Stepping back in time, 2012. Did anyone finish in 2012? 11? 10? 2009? All right. 2008? 2008?
Yes.
2007? 6? I think we covered everyone who's here. How many current faculty members are in the room? Current training faculty? No, current faculty.
Stand up. Faculty members.
That are not going to I think some really beautiful pictures were just taken
Yes.
that we all will get to see somehow.
Yes. So now we're going to introduce Brooke Leave. Brooke. Yes.
Multitasking as usual, doing things at once. and I'm short, so I'm going to hold the mic. So I'm Brooke Leave, and I am the current director of the Teacher Certification Program, and I also hold a seat on the board of directors. And I stepped into the role of director in September 2008, and let me tell you, I had some very well-directed shoes to fill. And I have a little history to share with you about ACAT. So the date of incorporation was April 14th, 1964. That was ACAT's 50th birthday this year. I was 1 year, 1 month, and 2 days old. And then the teacher certification program started in 1967. Judy Leibowitz, Debbie Kaplan, Frank Ottewell, Barbara Callan, and Joyce Ringdahl-Susskind were the founding members of ACAT. And then Judy Leibowitz served as the first director of training from 1967 to 1981. I feel very fortunate that I first joined ACAT's community in 1983 when I began studying with my first teacher, Nancy Wayne-Primita. And that year I actually came and watched you, Barbara, give a training class because Nancy was nudging me into the process of training, which I already wanted to do. And then I trained from 87 to 89, so I've been around for 31 of the 50 years. And in Debbie Kaplan's words, ACAT was formed to set a protocol for training Alexander teachers and to provide a resource where the general public, the media, medical and educational communities could go for information on Alexander's work. ACAT was also formed to provide a professional organization for Alexander teachers and to bring us together as a community. Since 1967, the training course has been the center of the organization, but always ACAT has been a membership organization. Now, twice in 1987, when NASTAT formed, and again in 1998, ACAT explored whether to focus exclusively on training teachers and to leave membership services completely to the auspices of what is now AMSAT, which is the American Society for Alexander Teachers. And twice, the ACAT community chose to remain intact. So I was just reading about those discussions. I found a newsletter from 1999, and we decided, because we have the opportunity of being so close together in the tri-state area, it's possible for us to gather. And so we decided we wanted to keep doing that. And in fact, ACAT has opened our community beyond ACAT graduates. We have teaching members who trained at other training courses, and we've developed our associate membership, which is made up of students, family, friends, and people who love the Alexander technique, and they are also part of the ACAT community. So we're here tonight really to celebrate 50 years of community, and of course, to celebrate and honor Barbara and Jessica. And I do think it makes sense that the training course is at the center of the community because we all love this work, and this work is something that you do. And so I think it's in the non-doing of the work that we most get to enjoy each other and our community. Teachers in training, graduates who generously donate their time, and our faculty who are dedicated to raising the skill and the standards of all Alexander teachers come together every day in the training class to learn together and to dwell in and celebrate how much we love this work and that we're surrounded by other people who get it. In fact, every summer in the training, in the Summer Intensive, which is a program we've been running now for 7 years, and it's intended for students of the technique, but not necessarily teachers. Every year, the students and participants always say, it's so nice to be in a room full of other people who understand this work. I can't talk to the people in my life about this work. They don't get it, so it's just so nice to be here. So I just want to say it is a treat to be here celebrating with all of you who all helped bring us to this 50-year mark, to celebrate Jessica and to celebrate Barbara. Our community is stronger than ever. So I am fortunate that all of the former directors, except our beloved Judy Leibowitz, are here tonight. So when I call your name, would you stand up so that we, in a moment, can have a round of applause for all of you? Joan Frost, who served as director from 94 to 95, and then as associate director, and then as director again from 2001 to 2008. Kim Jesser, Kim Jesser, who served as director from 91 to 94. Served from 1987 to 1991. And of course, Barbara Kent, who served from 1982 to 87, and then again from 1995 to 2001. For your important contributions to ACAT. So you and I, my fellow members, we are ACAT, and tonight is evidence of your ongoing support and your incredible generosity. I look forward to seeing what we will create for the next 50 years.
This is an evening to honor ACAT and its 50th anniversary. And it's an evening to honor two of its most distinguished graduates, Barbara Kent and Jessica Wolf. Lori will be speaking about Jessica, and I'll be speaking about Barbara. Barbara has her family here this evening. Julie Taketon, can you raise your hand? And Kendra, and you have some friends here this evening? FOB, Friends of Barbara, which is everybody here. Thank you all for being here. Barbara was my first Alexander teacher when I moved to New York. She was the director of the training program when I trained as a teacher. And a number of us here tonight trained under her discerning eye. When I think of Barbara Kent, one of the first words that comes to mind is integrity. Other words that come to mind are depth, clarity, patience, and seeking. This is a lady who walks the talk. This is a lady who taught many of us how to talk and how to walk. This is a lady who, when most of the world may get lost in life's complexities and difficulties, may suggest to us in a voice of quiet authority the elegantly simple question, have you thought about releasing your neck? This is a lady who knows. She knows things on a deep level because she's been there and back, and been there and back, and been there and back. I think of Barbara as a kind of Sherpa guide. She can lead you into and through the unknown. She can guide you up the side of a mountain that might feel dangerous. But she's showing you the pass that will take you to the other side of the mountain range. This could be a frightening journey, but it's a journey that she's taken many times before. She'll make sure that you don't fall. She'll remind you to keep breathing, and will encourage you to believe that this is something that you can ultimately do for yourself. Barbara was raised in California and earned her BA in music at California State University. She studied voice at the Juilliard School. She received her MA in music from Brooklyn College. Her professional singing career led her to the study of the Alexander Technique, and she was certified by ACAT in 1971. She has been on the faculty since 1972 and was the director of training from 1982 to 1987 and from 1996 to 2001. She has presented with distinction for many years at the Sweetbriar Residential Course, a number of international Alexander conferences, and at the New York Singing Teachers Association. We are all looking forward to her continuing to teach for many years to come. But these are just the facts. And facts alone cannot tell the full truth of any story. For those of you who have worked with Barbara, I will remind you about her teaching. For those who have not worked with her, I'll try to describe what it's like. Imagine that someone stands next to you and really sees you. She stands near you and she really hears you. She touches you and she feels what is actually there on a muscular, cellular, and spiritual level. Life is very fleeting. But when Barbara is in the room, life slows down. Because she asks herself and the person she is with to really stop, to be aware, to understand that profound change is actually possible, and that change begins right here and right now with the simple and profound decision to come in tune with yourself, which in turn helps you to become in tune with your immediate environment, which can mean that it's possible to become in tune with the world around you. By allowing for change in yourself, you can release your blocks and you can become who you are. And by becoming who you are doing yourself and the world a service. Barbara taught me that. Other words that come to mind when I think of Barbara are responsibility and self-responsibility, which may sound almost stern, but if you learn to take responsibility and responsibility for your life, then you are embracing being an adult, and you can be an evolving human being. This is also something that I have learned from Barbara. Life provides us with all kinds of challenges. As a friend of mine used to say, "Great, another goddamn learning experience." All of us experience moments where life's difficulties seem to open before you like a giant abyss. and the fear response grabs hold of you, and you freeze, and you feel like that there is nothing you can do. You are powerless. This is when your training recalls itself to save you. A positive voice in your head reminds you, release yourself, and this single thought results in a single action which results in a positive change and starts a chain reaction of release and softening. And you can suddenly remember that the power to change your life is in your own hands. Because releasing your neck and your mind-body is not an end in itself. It is a means whereby you can become most fully yourself. And when you are most fully yourself, you can follow the path that you are meant to follow with the help of your Sherpa guide. You can be of service both to yourself and to the world at large. All because you remember in the moment of freezing, in the moment of fear, your teacher's voice and your own, gently reminding you of the simplicity of the work of leaving the fear and coming back to yourself. Then you are able to connect to yourself and to connect to other people, which is what we are put here to do. Thank you, Barbara, for teaching me, for teaching all of us to become more fully ourselves, for teaching us that the first step to living more fully, more consciously, in a world that can sometimes seem confusing and dangerous, is to use the most powerful tool of all, which is compassion. You taught us that just as we can be compassionate to others, we can be compassionate with ourselves. We thank you, Barbara, for guiding us, and we honor you here tonight for your impressive achievements and for your outstanding example. Thank you.